Joining us now is Sterling Quinn. She is a New York City-based fashion designer who was sucker punched on her way to the gym one day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry about what you endured. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on today. This was a really, really scary event. This happened about 2 years ago, same time of year, end of February. And I was honestly just walking to the gym. It was like maybe 3:30, 4 in the afternoon. And I'm walking up north on Lafayette. You know, there's tons of people around. It's a sunny day. And I'm turning left on 4th Street. So there's a bit of a corner there. And while I'm turning the corner, you know, I flip my phone out to check into the gym. Takes all of 10 seconds. And as I'm checking in, I kind of look up and see this chaotic person coming at me and intuitively know to put my phone down. And in that just few seconds of processing that information, I just look over and I just see a big hand with something wrapped around it, absolutely decking me in the face. I fall to the ground. I mean, I'm in just utter shock. I can feel, you know, the cortisol racing through my body right now. It was so scary. No one really stopped to help. There was one really young girl. She probably was like 19. She helped like pick me up and encouraged me to call the cops. And so I did. In that, you know, minute that I'm getting up, processing what happened and calling the cops, I look over and I actually see him. He's just kind of walking away really slowly. He's at the end of the street. And so I actually yell, you know, come back, come fight me, because I had mace, which is not probably the appropriate thing to do. But I was just really, you know, I'd already been grabbed multiple times in my neighborhood. A month before this, on the exact same corner, 4th and Lafayette, kitty cat corner of that, so the northeast side, a guy on a bike tried to punch me when I was looking down, and I had dodged it and asked my guy friend, did you see that? He's like, what? No, you know, sure, you're fine. I mean, he's riding off. And I'm like, okay. And so 1 month later for this to happen, this guy has something around his hand. I mean, this is so premeditated. This is so on purpose. And so what ended up happening was the cops were just down the street on Lafayette. They had come up. I said, you know, the guy had just run away. He's running down the street. They were like, get in the car, throw on their sirens, and we start looking for him. And, you know, unfortunately that day we were not able to find him, but I did get a report a couple of weeks later saying that they may have found him. There was no conclusion to that case for me.
Wow. Obviously, you know, even talking about it now, very traumatic experience. I want to play a sound because this is really becoming something of a trend in New York City, about another victim describing, you know, how she learned about the trend only after becoming a victim. Let's listen.
I literally trying not to cry, but like, I just realized I was part of a group of women that got punched. What? I literally have so many goosebumps because I'm so shook that this happened. Like, I didn't register it because I had work today, but like, I just texted my friend and she told me you have to make a video about this because apparently a ton of women are getting attacked.
Have you been talking to any other women who this has happened to?
Yeah, I've actually been able to connect with a lot of the girls that were affected by this. And ironically, most of them, well, all the girls that I connected with, all of their attacks took place less than 1 block from my house and less than 2 blocks from where my attack happened over 2 years ago. These girls all seem to be, you know, around my age, kind of similar professions, similar lifestyles, you know, clothing styles. So, yeah, I've got to talk with a lot of them.
And they're not catching a lot of them. Some of them, there have been arrests, but as we pointed out a moment ago, misdemeanor, so they're out the next day.
Yeah, so the guy they did catch, who was one of the guys who punched one of the victims I knew, he was actually arrested and then let out the very next day with no bail. And he's the one who's going around TikToking how he's abusing women. So
wow,
they have just no care for the safety of women, it feels like.
Wow. All right. Well, look, this is something we talk about on the show a lot, is the bail reform laws, et cetera, and some of the changes that need to be made. But Sterling Quinn, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. I know it's not easy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.